Dragi gosti, dobrodošli. Dakle, mi smo na 8. Sokratovom krugu. Dakle, ovo je jedna, nadam se, posebna prilika da i predstavimo naše goste, ali da naučimo nešto novo. Tako da očekujem da će biti jako, jako dobro primljena i kod vas i kod onih koji nas budu gledali putem društvenih mreža. Za početak, ja bih da se predstavi prvi naš gost, a kasnije će preostala dva glavna gosta koji će nam predstaviti neke mogućnosti koje vi ćete imati u narednom periodu, kroz vaše školovanje.
Dobro večer, ja sam Viktorija Belada, profesor matematike u gimnaziji Slobodan Škerović. U priči projekta HMC stipendije ja sam od 2019. godine. Kroz iskustvo od dvije kćeri, Ksenije i Anastasije. Nadam se da ćete detalje čuti i kasnije i od uvaženih Ane i Richarda, a i ja ću vam pojasniti što vas bude interesovalo. Ja ću pričati na maternjem jeziku, jer je moj engleski prilično loš.
Goodness me, it's not true.
Ana i Richard, hoćete vi sad, pa će naši...
Right, Richard, off you go. You can introduce yourself. Say something about yourself.
Actually, Anna should start first because she's the teacher. I don't know whether Gospodin Brnović knows, but I'm not a teacher. In a former life, I used to be a buyer of all the food products that a supermarket group has for sale. So, in 2013?
No. 2005.
2005, I met Anna in Britain. Some years later, we married, and we now spend 50-50 of our time in between the UK and here in Montenegro. And I said I'm not a teacher, but from the very first question, what is the benefit of going to perhaps a British boarding school, is that everyone can be a teacher and everyone can be a learner. So you will all have your own individual skills, and you can pass on your particular skills to someone else who needs to improve those skills. And if you go to a British boarding school, your skills will be recognized, and you may well find yourself being asked to help younger students with their learning. And you will be, in that regard, you will be a teacher in one moment, and you will be a learner in another.
Yes. True. Okay, right. So I'm Anna. Okay, it's a real pleasure, absolutely, to be with you all tonight. Thanks to your fantastic maths teacher who organizes all this.
Congratulations.
Okay, week after week. And thank you, Victoria, for joining us tonight. So, as Richard says, I've been teaching English all my life. That's part of myself. That's part of my DNA. And I love it, absolutely love it. And I do it with all passion. And I used to teach in primary school, so I know exactly, or I used to teach you, long time ago. And then after primary school, I started teaching at University of Montenegro, Faculty of Philology, for so many years. And I retired 2 years ago, actually. But then I still teach English. When we are in Montenegro, I teach in person. When we are in the UK, I teach online. But that's something that I will never stop
And when we're at home,
doing.
Anna teaches me my English mistake.
Right. Okay, so that's about us. So 16 years ago, Richard was in the UK And he said to me, listen to this, I've got to tell you something. And he told me about the HMC project. He found it just by chance, because he went to one of the schools that was close to the house where we had. And then the headmaster of the school said, oh, well, why don't you try HMC project? We had no clue what it meant. Absolutely, okay, neither of us. And then, okay, to cut a long story short, Richard dug into it, and then we got in touch with the people from the HMC project. And then I was in London within 5 days. And then we got into the project 16 years ago, where there were, at the time, 13 countries from Central and Eastern Europe.
Now 20.
Now 20. So that was a revelation, absolutely fantastic. So I was happy, and I said to myself, you know, being a teacher, I said, if we get at least one scholarship, I would be happy, because you would change someone's life for good, because this is a life-changing opportunity, absolutely, to give you 100% full scholarship, to go to the UK, to a British boarding school for 2 years, so you can imagine what that all means. So that's when it all began. So now we have more than 130 students from Montenegro for all the 15 years, because a generation 16 is still to be chosen. The Brits are coming to Montenegro very soon, in December. So they are those, we'll talk about it, I believe. Okay, that's something that is very much clear as a picture, clear as a bell. And then I have to say that the HMC project, as Victoria said, is a charitable organization. So there is no money involved at all.
As far as we're concerned.
No money involved. The board of directors of the HMC project are ex-headmasters and headmistresses of the British boarding schools, who long time ago, more than 20 years ago, decided...
Mid-90s.
Mid-90s, true. Decided to do something that is good, to do a good deed. Doing benefits to others means giving something to others, not just taking, but just giving as well as taking. So they decided to bring students from the Balkans to the UK, to give them a chance to come to the UK, to experience completely different system of education.
Please, miss. Just to make it as clear as a bell, let me just explain British boarding schools, because they're not just boarding schools. They're dotted all over the British Isles. There are many, many of them. I believe firstly, they are private schools. They're not state schools. They do run the British education system and their examination curricula. And they also, many of them also teach the International Baccalaureate.
But we'll be talking about it later.
They're private schools, so many of the students who go to these private schools, their parents pay quite a lot of money for them to go there. And they do that because, in a way, it's unfair to many other children, because these schools then can afford to get working for them the most highly motivated teachers. They're not paid substantially more than teachers in the state sector, but they are very highly motivated teachers. So it's a great privilege for any British student to go to one of these schools. So if you get a scholarship to go there for free or almost for free, that's a great privilege opportunity to be taught by highly motivated teachers. I'm sure Господин Brnovic would get a job at one of these schools in an instant.
Yes, that's enough about introduction, Richard.
Okay.
Okay, right. Thank you.
I just wanted to add, there are day students at these schools as well. There are boarders and there are day students who come in from the local area. Many of the boarders will be other international students from a whole range of countries around the world.
Okay, right, thank you.
So Anna, since you said you were an English teacher, what inspired you the most to become an English teacher?
What's the most important thing to become an English teacher is to love it, absolutely love it, to live with it, and to have passion for teaching. That's so important. I mean, I think it's the same for any teacher, isn't it? Okay, I believe so. I truly do, because I've been in the UK nearly all my life since I was a student of, ever since I was a student of English. I've been in the UK on and off. Okay, and then I was a pioneer actually in Montenegro to take students. When I used to teach primary school students a long time ago, I would take them. I used to take them to the UK for 3 weeks for summer schools, and then I met Richard 20 years ago, and then I've been, just Britain is my home as much as Montenegro is. Let's put it that way.
And since you said that you've spent most of your life in Britain, how much is the Britain school system different than Montenegro's?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. Okay, Balsha, it's really good. It really, okay, is a huge difference. There are no 15 subjects, I beg your pardon, in the UK, the British boarding schools. But we are talking about the year 3 and 4, which we call in the UK year 12 and 13, which is upper 6. So no 15 subjects. You just have to choose 4 subjects. So shall I just bring it closer to you? When you think about it, you are now the 8th graders, right? So if you went to the UK after your primary school, right, you would do GCSE, right, which is General Certificate of Secondary Education. So you would have about 10 subjects nearly.
Maximum 10.
Max 10 subjects. After finishing your GCSE, you would have to narrow your subjects and then choose only 4 that you really absolutely love and are passionate about. So you want to study. And then I was talking to Balsha and Paul. Very often students ask me, okay, when we do our presentations, how on earth am I going to choose 4 subjects when I'm good at all subjects? And then I usually say, oh, well, it's easy to do that. You put 4 grades, right? You put, I love these subjects. I'm so passionate about these subjects. I like these subjects. I'm okay with these subjects, the 3rd one, and then I hate these subjects. So you start from the back, and it's easy to come to the first one. Easy, absolutely easy. So you choose 4. And then at the end of the day, let's face the truth. You are, after secondary education, you're just going to study 1 subject. And all these schools have career teams. So the minute you get there, you are absolutely advised by these people. They can tell whether you could be an incredible mathematician or a fantastic physicist. So they will tell you, oh, I think you should go there. You should take this path. So they lead you, just like push, so that it's easy for you. And then at the end of the day, you have the best teachers, as Richard has said already. Many of them are PhDs in mathematics, physics, or all other subjects. So that is a huge difference. Subjects, it's a number of subjects. B, all these schools have the most modern laboratories for physics, chemistry, biology. Okay, so if you absolutely put yourself, okay, and then you enjoy it. C, all these schools have extracurricular activities. They have a swimming pool, they have tennis courts, they have football pitches, they've got everything under the sun that you can absolutely dream of. And then amongst extracurricular activities, which you choose to do something in the afternoon, because you can't be idle. You know the meaning of idle? That is the only thing that you can't be. Right, so your day is absolutely packed. Okay, you can't be bored for a single second. So that's a huge difference. Have I said it all?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
And now, Richard, what do you see as the main value of HMC scholarships for the students from the Balkans and Central Europe?
What is the main values? What are the main values for the students, okay, with the HMC projects for the from Central and Eastern Europe?
The main benefit?
Yes.
Okay. Well, firstly, you'll get a wider perspective of the world. I remember, the first time I spent any time abroad, away from Britain, because you get used to things within your own country, and you just accept that's the way things are. Won't it just stay forever like that? And then you go abroad, and interestingly enough, as well as seeing new things and new ways of doing things abroad, you learn a lot about your own country that you didn't realize before. You can see things that you really like about your own country, and you can also quite readily spot things that really aren't quite as good as you might have thought they were. And it gives you that potential to have the motivation to come back home and try to do something to improve the society and the well-being of the country you come from.
Right, may I just add to what Balsha asked, is that the values, the great values, is something that you are freedom to ask questions. You can absolutely ask that critical thinking and freedom to ask questions whatever you want. You can just raise your hand and say to your teacher, "Excuse me, sir, I completely disagree with you."
Was Balsha's question about being abroad,
values.
being abroad or HMC?
Yeah, HMC. Okay, you can talk about, you can say, so we usually talk to students when we do the presentations all over Montenegro about the HMC projects. We usually say to students, the magic word is ask. 3 letters. Ask. If you don't ask, don't ever, that's what I kept saying to my students all the time, don't ever leave the classroom with any doubt that you might think, oh my God, I don't think I have understood my teacher properly. And then you ask someone else. No one else can explain that better to you but your teacher. So don't go, ask. Raise your hand, ask is a magic word. That is important, very, very important. And then your teachers will always stop, even if you stop them in the corridor and say, "Excuse me, sir, excuse me, miss, I want to ask you something." They will have time for you all the time.
We remember visiting one school. We'd had a program of visiting different schools, and we'd arrive very late because it took longer in the traffic. And we went and spoke with one of the housemaster or housemistress in the houses where boarding students live. And a teacher had come at about 7 o'clock at night to give some extra guidance to, I think it was a young Korean, wasn't he? Student who was there in the, what you call seating area. And she had come to give him some extra tuition because he was worried about the forthcoming test.
That is something, I beg your pardon, I don't know whether it happens now. You'll have to correct me, Victoria, and Mishka, please do. I remember, I'm sorry, I have to say it out loud. I remember when I taught at primary school, we had, and we were obliged to have extra classes for incredible students that I was preparing for competition, what have you. But we also had additional lessons for those weaker ones. So correct me if tell me whether it happens or not. I'm not sure about that.
This is
but
the kind of
that was the
lesson.
part of our job.
Znate kako, u Britaniji djeca su rasterećena, uče ono što im se sviđa. Oni to vole, profilišu se za dalje studije, za dalje školovanje. Ovdje, iako sam ja dio obrazovnog sistema i kao roditelj i kao profesor, mislim da se gubi vrijeme na nekim suhoparnim učenjima koje ne možete da primijenite u praksi. Ana malo čas, čini mi se, reče da 4 do 5, najviše 10 predmeta, je li tako? E sad, ta 4 predmeta, konkretno pričam o matematici. Podijeljena su na 4 profesora, pa tu ispada ipak neke 4 matematike. Zašto znam konkretno za matematiku, za fiziku, jer su moja djeca učila te predmete i computer science. Pa jedan profesor predaje mehaniku, jedan algebru, jedan će statistiku, a opet je jedna zajednička ocjena. I to djeci ne bude teško. A poslije, ono što je Ana pojasnila, oni imaju klubove, imaju sekcije. Da li će to biti robotika u pitanju, da li će biti sport, da li će biti čak iz krajnosti idu neki literarni dio sekcije. Dizajn. Djeca se na taj način odmore i njima ne bude ni 9 časova dnevno naporno.
Yes.
Budu srećni.
Da.
Yeah. Budu srećni. Uče ono što im se sviđa. Ne uče, nadam se da nema ovdje kolega, profesor istorije i geografije, francusku buržoasku revoluciju, ne uče kameno doba, to su već negdje naučili do 12. razreda, pretpostavljam. I poslije se samo spremaju za fakultet.
Yeah, that's the whole story, actually. Yeah. That is the major thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
so to just
go to Balsha.
Answering his question was the other benefit, and it happens very fast, is you will gain fantastic self-confidence.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That happens very fast. It even surprises us still. That when you come home after the first 6 weeks, there are 3 terms in a school year in Britain, and you also get a half-term break during each term. So after 6 weeks, many of those students, they fly back home to see their families and their friends, and they have to do the rounds of all the extended families. And the things that the parents most often mention to us, their stature seems to have grown, that they're suddenly self-confident, they know what they are about, they're organized.
Yes, sure.
And, That's an
satisfaction.
inner feeling to be confident about your place in the world.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Balsha.
Richard, how do you decide which students are the best candidates for these scholarship programs?
Oh, the best candidates.
We do not decide, Balsha. The Brits do.
Yeah.
So that is, before Richard, okay, I have to say something before Richard answers the question. I beg your pardon.
Which means she's got to answer it.
No, I'm not going to. I'll let you do that. But I'm just saying that when you say, how do you decide? We do not decide. The Brits do. And then I have said on a few occasions, when I talk about the HMC projects, this is the only thing in Montenegro where there is no nepotism. The only thing in this country where there are no family ties. There is absolutely no one who could come to us and say, look, my best friends, relatives, anyone, absolutely anyone, who could say, oh, I've got my son who is applying for a scholarship. Can you do something about it? No chance. No way. The British decide on that. So that's it. We have no say. It's their decision. I wish it were in this country like that. If we kill nepotism in Montenegro, this country could possibly stand on its feet.
So, how do you choose? Yes, we are fortunate. We help the HMC assessors, we help them to gather all the information that they need to look at, which they study in great detail. So yes, obviously they will gather together your grades, your teachers' commendations, and all background information. You will be asked also to write, in your own time, a 1,000-word self-portrait, which probably you've never done before, and in the peace of your own room, perhaps with the headphones on, many do, you will think about yourself in much more detail than perhaps you've ever done before.
Yes.
What motivates me? What rings my bells?
Who am I? Who am I?
Yeah.
It's so important.
Who inspired me? This teacher, that teacher, my parents.
That's right.
And so on. All the things. Where is all this education leading me?
Right.
Whereas most of the time you're just saying, oh, I must get this homework done.
Yes.
And then on to the next. Oh, I must get that homework done.
That's very important to please the register, to have all the marks, all 5s, to please your parents. So your parents are happy because you have this lucha, what have you, tralala. The HMC projects actually last year dug so much, and they do not recognize lucha any longer. You can have it. It means nothing to them anymore. Absolutely, but then is all your passions, who you are, you have to be very sincere with yourself. So, and then you have to sell yourself best. And then you usually, when you write, what Richard is talking about, when you write, your personal statement, you just write, leave it overnight, and then take it the next day and say, oh, do I know this person? Would I like to meet this person or not? And then so on.
Okay. Then there is one critical factor which you cannot alter, and that is the HMC projects scholarships are for those students whose families are not hugely wealthy.
That's a key thing.
So as long as your parents, your mother and your father or guardian, if that's the situation, don't earn more than £35,000 British pounds between them in a year, you can be considered for an HMC 100% scholarship. If you earn a little more,
£40,000 a year.
yeah, you can be considered for a scholarship worth 80% of the school fees. And that includes all your meals and accommodation, everything. You just need a little pocket money to buy some sweets or something occasionally.
But
so if you earn if your parents earn more than £45,000 a year, then you have to apply to us outside of that program, and we can get you scholarships at same standard schools, but with schools which don't participate in this particular competition.
right.
Now, then it comes to the interview. And the interview is like going for an audition for a play. It is your day to be on stage.
Yeah, that is a D-Day.
So it can influence you hugely. So you must be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and we'd say, as keen as mustard. And I can promise you that mustard in Britain is a lot hotter and keener than it is here.
Yes, true.
So then the HMC assessors go away, get into a huddle. All the assessors who've been to 20 potential countries where students have applied from, and they decide who they think are the most outstanding.
Yes.
And the reason that there is this financial limitation is because the scholarship, HMC project scholarship, is for those who could never otherwise have that chance of getting a really high-flying education, which can and does take you on to the top flight universities all around the world.
Okay, thank you, Richard. But I just want to say something to add to what Richard was saying about how important it is when the British come. It is a D-Day. It lasts for 40 minutes. And then there are 3 students, something that you are not much used to, I believe. And then you are asked questions. And then I usually sit at the back. And then I have so much experience to say, I can tell within 10 seconds who the scholar is. Absolutely. The right scholar, someone who is intelligent, bright, who's got spark in his eyes, who is so motivated, absolutely, knowledgeable, right, well-rounded personality, who is not a bookworm, who knows a lot more outside the picture, and then who is hungry for knowledge. I can tell within so far. But then what happens is you can also tell when they are sitting in the group of 3 are being interviewed by the British. What usually happens is actually that what absolutely frustrates me so much is if you are asked a question, say Balsha, and then you answer, and then you look around and look at the ceiling. Interaction is so important. You know, you have to show respect. Respect is an important word. Respect yourself, but respect others as well when they talk. That's eye contact is so important. Absolutely. These are the key things.
You might ask why it is that it's an English teacher who is coming to talk about HMC projects, not a mathematics teacher or physics teacher, there's one critical issue to deciding whether you even get to make an application in the first place, is that you must have a level of English in all the skills, writing, reading, listening, speaking, at a strong B1 level, a stronger level than those who can afford to go to these British schools and pay the fees. It has to be a strong B1 level.
Right.
So there is a strong test of your English level before you can go on to make a full application.
Right, Agnieszka has a question. Richard now?
I'm sorry. Yesterday we speak about something, and if I may notice, the most important word for me was resilience. Resilience.
Yes.
And I want to show that we show us what is resilience, because you have only 10 minutes for, I think, 6 questions.
Questions? Oh gosh, we have to. You have to be short, Richard.
Please. Okay, but do you have another question?
Yes, one more.
Thank you.
What advice would you give to the students who are considering applying but feel unsure?
What?
Shall I answer that question? Right. I'll be brief. Absolutely. If you consider applying, but you are on a seesaw, you know the meaning of a seesaw, don't. You have to be really, really, absolutely confident that you want to do what you are going to do, right? It's got to be you. It's not, your parents can help you, but your parents can't push you into it if you don't want to do it, if you do not want to go for it. So that is so important. You have to talk to yourself and then say, okay, do I really want this? This is a life-changing opportunity. What do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. If I don't try, I don't get. So you go for it. So that's what students do. Right. Thank you, Balsha.
Yeah. Passion.
Yeah. Passion.
Must be passion.
Passion. You have to be passionate about things, what you do. Okay. Right. Are we at to Paul?
I have 5 questions as well, but I didn't choose what questions are for what person, so you decide who answers. Sure. The first one is when the kids go to the UK British boarding school, do they miss home, and how long do they miss their home?
That's very, very quick. They come home after that 6 weeks, and they're already thinking they've made some friends.
They can't wait to go back.
And they're torn. Of course, they love it back home. They've got their mothers cooking. They've got all their friends around them. And we tell them, you mustn't forget your friends and your teachers who have actually helped get you there.
Kids in British boarding schools experience bullying.
Oh, that is a good question. Yeah. That is something that is absolutely forbidden.
Let's just say it's possible, because kids can be wicked.
Yes. They can be wicked.
But there are so many safeguards. You live in houses, so there may be 40 students in a house. Boys, of course, separate in a separate area from the girls. Very often, separate buildings for boys and girls. And there is a housemaster or a housemistress or a family, and usually a dog as well. And you are all the time under their care. So again, it's like having second parents, and they know what's going on.
Exactly. Yes.
They are there for you. If you have any worries, you speak to them.
Yes.
Your friends, if they're close friends, will also look after your interests.
Right. So that is something that, Paul, that is something that we haven't heard of at all for all these years.
I've heard of one instance.
Yes.
But I also know that
But
there
that
are...
was nothing to do with the HNC project.
Yeah. Well, there are some students who applied and they were so anxious to get away from school here because they were bullied. And very often it's actually the highly academic student, very academically able, who is pulled down by the idiots who get jealous about someone who's actually very bright.
Yeah, okay. Right. Mm-hmm.
What do you do if students make mistakes and forbid and break the rules? Do they send them home or they have something else?
When you think about it, for all these 15 years that we have been, or even more, even 20 years actually, that we have been involved with the British education, if you break the rules, I don't know what you mean by breaking the rules. What we have experienced so far is that the students would think, oh, I got 100% full scholarship, right? That means so much. Someone is paying for me, so I will learn English, brilliant. So I don't have to apply myself. I don't have to study hard, what have you. You have to understand one thing that is very important, that these schools are investing in you. They are paying for your education nearly 50,000 euros per year. So what they ask from you is the only thing is that you really apply yourself, that you study. That's all. And then you are a part of a community, you are sociable, you take part in all other activities and what have you. That is important. So many, many years ago, I think it was our generation 4, one of them did not apply himself at all, did not study hard, his marks were not so good, he thought it was an excursion. It's not an excursion, it's the real thing. Absolutely, that's that changes your life for good. So the school did not have to offer him 100% full scholarship for the next year. We had to literally beg the school to keep him there for the second year. Okay, but the school, all the schools in the projects and all the schools in the UK that give scholarships to international students keep the right and have the right not to offer you 100% full scholarship for the next year if you are going to sit there just and do not do anything, if you are not an asset, if you are not a model student. Because that's the point is that you are a model student. That's the whole thing.
That one example just shows you that everyone can make mistakes, and on that occasion the HMC assessors made a mistake.
Okay, Richard,
if they really got the most motivated student, that wouldn't have happened. There has been one very bright student who got persuaded by the lazier-minded British students at the school to go out and have a smoke behind the bicycle sheds. And when they were caught, he was sent back.
Right, cut it. We've got time.
That's it.
It was actually the next questions.
So we've answered it.
Yes. Were any students sent home for misbehaving?
Not from Montenegro ever. Okay, right. No, not really. We have not ever had any. Okay, that was because you have to understand that when we discovered the project 16 years ago, Montenegro went first on the list. So we put Serbia the next year, And so we coordinated Serbia. 7 years ago, we put North Macedonia on the list. We helped North Macedonia join the project. And this year, we've helped Albania join the project because they want to close all the Balkan countries. So that's it. But we know what's happening in other countries.
Htjela bih da vam se zahvalim na vašem gostovanju ovdje i na pitanjima i na odgovorima. Vjerujem da ste mi dali jednu veliku priliku i mišljenju šta je to zapravo kako je ovo prilika za nas mlade.
Super, hvala. Hvala vama.